Hi and welcome back. This is a project that I've forgotten all about. I was having a clear up in the machine shop and I pulled this out. This is a 1960s, some mid-60s, early mid-60s Honda C200 90cc overhead valve pushrod engine, pre sort of C90 overhead cam engine, that kind of thing. I have had a C200. I'll insert a picture of me with a stupid haircut sitting on one when I was a kid. If you want to see more pictures of me with a stupid haircut, look at the video Trip Down Memory Lane that I did a few months ago. Anyway, I kept this because it might come in handy one day. I've always wanted to do a sectioned engine. Never done it, I've absolutely no idea how to do it, so we're going to give it a go. I have all the bits for this, a serviceable crank. I think this has got full of water and it's seized up on the crank. Hopefully we can get it all to pieces and we can section it. So I'll get you in a bit closer and then we'll fish it out of this bucket of diesel that it's been in for years, and then we're going to get over to the parts washer with a wire brush and we're going to get as much of the rust and snot off as we can, and then see if we can disassemble this without breaking anything and cleaning it all up. I'm pretty sure I've got 90% of it. I had bits off of it for a bike I rebuilt years ago, but then I kept the bits I took off that engine, so I should have all of it. If not, we might have to get the odd bit here off of the internet. But let me get you zoomed in and we'll fish it out of here, and then we'll let's go fishing. Now, diesel normally gets things unstuck, but it's certainly taken the paint off. It wasn't originally black, they're normally silver. And I do have a shot blaster, so we can clean all this lot up once we get all the gook off. Oh, there we go, rocker box, locked up solid. Yeah, quite how you go about sectioning this, I've absolutely no idea. But if we can get it apart without breaking it, that'd be a minor miracle in the first place. Oh no, that one moves. Oh no, it's going. Don't know whether that's coming up on camera. That's moving. I mean, it has all got to come completely to pieces. So right. Oh hello. Oh, I thought that bit was missing. That is the clutch, because this is a 4-speed manual transmission. Hence I learnt to ride motorcycles on it. It's not a semi-auto. I thought that bit was missing, but that is the front of the clutch housing. Oh, crankcase screws. It's been so long it's been sat in here I forget what we've got. I didn't know it was seized when I got the engine. I got it for I think next to nothing from what I remember, but it had been left somewhere and got full of water, and it's locked it up. That is the clutch cover, and that's your clutch arm there, locked up. Hopefully the diesel's got in and done some good, and a bit of warmth with the old gas torch will free things, expand the alley, and we better free things off and get it all apart. Massive cleaning job, thank God for a shot blaster. That's the front bit of the exhaust. Why did I keep that? Anyway, come in handy one day, as they say. Another bolt. Right. This is where I'm going to end up wearing this diesel. As you can see, hopefully, most of the paint is pickled. Still got its points in it. Don't drop it, Dave, that's going to get real messy. Ooh, that's picking up on camera, but that is rusty. So gently wire brush that all off in the parts washer, and then see if we can slowly start disassembling it. Yeah. yuck. But on a positive note, even if that crank is completely stuffed, I do have, bring it up to the camera, there you go, a perfectly serviceable crank and piston assembly. So even if we have to beat the piston out of that and it won't come out, I do have another one. And this is the idea is to section it all and then have it being driven by an electric motor with a speed control, so you can have it turning over and then sort of show people how it all works, because a lot of people don't appreciate how a constant mesh modern motorcycle gearbox works, because you can actually ride without a clutch once you get going. People don't realise you can change gear in a modern bike, don't need a clutch at all. So we'll reposition over at the parts washer and wire brush and make a terrible mess. Right, we're in the parts washer. Yuck. Here's one way to put that. That is a bit of a mess. Let's well, this is all going to come out, but we'll give it a go. What I think we'll do, we'll get set up on the welding bench, we'll get the propane gas burner out, and we're going to warm that cylinder up, and we'll see if we can expand it enough to free the piston from the bore, because the crank is definitely seized. But I can now get that circlip out, take the primary drive gear to the gearbox out. That's what drives, driven by the clutch. That's the crank. That drives your oil pump and camshaft. If you push once, you've got them down there. So yeah, I think we'll get this set up on the welding bench and see if we can warm that up to ping that free. If we can get that off, we'll take that off and that shaft off, and we take the generator housing off the other side. We should be able to split it and see what horrors await inside. I think is where we need to be going. Right, what we're going to try and do is heat this bit up here, the cylinder, see if we can get it to slide off that piston. I did take the generator housing off and sprocket. I've had this off before because I nicked the generator out. I do have a dud one to go in. So let's see if we can get this apart. I'm dreading, the gearbox is locked up solid as well, so I'm dreading to think what lies inside. But we do have a fire extinguisher. I'm just going to grab it just in case, because obviously this engine is full of diesel, or was, and a bit of paraffin from the parts washer. So I'm going to try and burn the place down anyway. I'm not going to try and cut anything, I just want to get it hot. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that this is going to work, but I don't want to have to beat it out if I can avoid it. The other way to do this is to put a plate over the top and with a grease nipple in it and hydraulically push it off, which I have done, and it does work. But let's just get a bar in there and just see if anything's likely to give. I very much doubt it will. I don't normally stick bars in gasket faces, but it doesn't matter because this engine's never going to run again, so if we pick something up it doesn't really matter. This is just for demonstration and display purposes if we succeed. Yeah, it's pretty rusty. She's on there. Okay, we're not going to worry about it right now. We'll let that heat soak in and see where that goes over time. The idea is to get it apart without breaking anything. So, and that is hot. So let the heat soak in and we'll come back, put some more penetrating oil in there and see if we can get it free. In the meantime, I want to get some of these bits off. I kept going. It started to come apart, so I kept going. I need a camera operative. me trying to operate camera gear while you're dealing with like this is pretty difficult. It is grim. Yeah, it was clearly full of water. The only things that broke getting it apart was the bit of alley casing that the gear shift mechanism spins on. That broke out. Now we may be able to repair that. And this little bracket, I tried to undo the screw and the whole lot came out. It's just a pillar that holds the oil feed to the big ends. Obviously everything is completely locked up. It's grim. Yep, it's grim, but it's not retrievable for the purposes that we want. Oh, sorry, not irretrievable for the purposes we want. So I think the thing to do is to get it in the parts washer, and we will just clean. I will spend much as time as cleaning all this snot off, extracting the gear set, the selector mechanism, everything out of that half of the crankcase, crank out the cranks. See, I actually went to spin the block over while it was in one piece, grabbed hold of the cylinder because it actually cooled off, and it just spun on the piston and it pulled off. So heating it obviously worked, and got it free. So yeah, let's get it in the parts washer and get it all cleaned up. And what if we decide to put this back together? I think I will, just for the sheer hell of it. We'll everything we clean, and then I can go through how it all works, or what bit does what, and put it all back together once I've worked out how to section the crankcase. I'm sure it's doable. Just a pity about that bit that broke, but you know, I'm sure we can pull it back. So let me get this locked back. Right. From the shop blaster and parts washer, it emerges. Apart from a couple of bits I showed that got damaged, not too bad. Believe it or not, this bore, if it was rebored by 1/2 mil, is perfectly serviceable. There's nothing wrong with it. The only bit of damage, other than what I've shown you on this crankcase, is a crack. The camera will pick it up there. But when the idea of this, to section it, I'll put this back together, just that goes like that, is to cut out effectively the middle in between all the fixing points, so you can see the guts inside, and also on all the other, goes that way up before, go on that side there, is to cut out where, so you can see the kickstart and the clutch assembly. So you get, even though it's going to be driven by an electric motor, this is the plan, you should be able to see it all. The only damage to the gears, I think something got into this and broke the gearbox, because there's no wear in the bore. It's not a very high mileage engine, but on this part of the gear cluster assembly, hopefully the camera will pick it up. Oops, come here you. Get that in there like that. It's picking it up. There should be more of that piece there. It should go all the way around, or most of the way around, with sections in it, because it locates either, that goes one way, and there's a selector fork that goes in there and moves it over to engage with those gears, or that way. This one is, on the camera, pick it up, come on, focus. There you go, that's better. That's where your selector fork sits in there, and then moves, whoops, that one's come right off the shaft. Again, moves this backwards and forwards. That should sit like that. And then that moves, with your selector fork, moves it backwards and forwards. When this all gets reassembled, it'll make more sense. And I should be able to show you. But everything now is relatively clean. Managed to get the kickstart assembly out of the crankcase, and that all seems to be freed up and working. That is your selector drum. It's a bit difficult to explain like this. It'll make more sense when it's all put back together. But that drum turns and then moves these forks in and out. I don't know when it's being picked up. These move backwards and forwards as the drum turns. It follows a groove. These pegs follow a groove in this drum, and there's a mechanism that ratchets this round for you to change gear. That's how that bit works, but again, it'll make more sense when it's actually in the crankcase. The only bits I haven't cleaned up is the rocker box top and the cylinder head, which I have, and if I get my spare piston out, this is a standard piston off another engine, and the widest part of the piston is the skirt, and that fits in there perfectly. Obviously we're not running this as an engine, so it doesn't matter, but that is because that is in such a mess. The original, we can use that crank and piston assembly. I just need to get some bearings if I haven't got any. There's only well, apart from the 2 crank bearings, there's 2 roller bearings for the gearbox plus 1 for your clutch, so I need to get those because they are locked up solid. So that took 2 days solid to clean, get this apart and clean it all up to the point where it is now, and you can see it's the camera will pick it up, but it's pretty corroded. It will probably go again if I put it all back together, but the plan is now I will work out where the section is. I think we'll call this it for this video because it's getting quite long, and I'll start sectioning it and we'll come back when I've done a bit and I'll show you how I'm going to do the rest of it. With the cylinder, I want to cut away part of the cylinder so you can see one of the push rods operating, and obviously I need to cut away part of the bore. You can't see that bit, it's inside the crankcase. You only see this bit, then the head goes on the top. Cut so you can see the piston going up and down, and obviously I've got to cut into the head, which I have here. I have the other valve and springs, but I need to, it actually sits on the bike that way around, the exhaust goes downwards, so I need to be able to cut into this. I've got the exhaust inlet manifold and the carb for it, so I might cut into the side so you can see the valves opening and closing, and obviously 1 push rod. Lots of thinking to be done, and that's the interesting bit. The filthy bit was getting it all to pieces. So there you go, 2 days work and a bit of heat, and we got it all apart. We'll call that it for part 1. Probably going to be 3 or 4 parts, I would imagine, to get this completed. So I'll say thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.